Okay, I think it started recording. So welcome to the Soccer Talk podcast. So today we're here with Potros FC manager Christopher Uranga, Potros FC midfielders Samuel Valdivia, Benjamin Uranga, and Augusto del Rio. And we're going to be talking about the UPSL playoff format for the regional and the national level, and as well as the relegation and promotion rules. So welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. So we're right now going into week 5. You guys have a game tomorrow. How do you guys feel so far about the first part of the season?
Well, I guess I'll start. Thank you for having us. I feel that we're prepared and ready for the second part of the season. I think that we had a long preseason and we started the season. We've had our first 4 results, and I think that we learned a lot from them, and we're ready to move on and continue through the season.
Yeah, that's great. So coming into week 5, does anybody have any expectations for this week, what your match tomorrow is going to look like?
I'm expecting for us to start winning more games. I feel like this beginning half just kind of showed us like what we need to fine tune, and it showed us also the positive things that we're gonna be able to emphasize, and that it's gonna be the start of winning games from now on.
Great. So given that this season is split up into 10 weeks, how do you guys think it's going to be looking towards the playoffs?
I feel that with these first games we've played, we already learned a lot about all the mistakes we've made. So by the end of the season or when the playoffs come, I think we're gonna have all those mistakes already fixed up, and we're gonna be playing very well soccer and very good.
That's
well,
good.
Right now, I think that with our current position in the table, we currently are not in the playoff picture with where we are right now. So we are, I think, 9th place out of 11 teams, and the top 8 make the playoffs. So I think that's something that we're really going to be focusing on is these upcoming games. Every single game is like a final because they're going to help us to make sure that we can qualify. So we have to play every game as if it's the difference between making it to playoffs or not. And if we do that, I think that if we have that mentality and we focus and play to our strengths and get results, take points from every single place that we can take them, take 3 points where we need them, games that we got to find ways to make games going our way to, if they're not going our way, that we can at least get a point or something like that just to get us in that playoff picture.
Right. Now, this year it was announced by the UPSL that the champion gets an additional $10,000. How do you guys see that affecting the motivation of each division of each team?
I think it'll keep teams and players motivated. I think that would tie into the whole promotion and relegation system as well. Just kind of keeps everybody on their toes and gives you something to look forward to if you want to stay at this division, or if you're at the Division 1, then it gives you something to look forward to push that level to be able to reach the Premier Division.
To add on to that, I do want to add that $10,000 is the national champion.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gives everybody an incentive to keep on growing and keep on getting better and better, finding good players and growing as players and as organizations, because it's if you're the best in your region, then why stop there? You can keep getting better, be the best in the nation. And then there's also the intercontinental playoff that they introduced this season between the champions of the UPSL of the United States versus the champions of the UPSL in Mexico. So it's always there's always something bigger that you can strive for. And I think that's a good step for the league to go towards.
That's great. So when thinking about the promotion and relegation, that's something that just started about this year, for at least for the Georgia division. How did you guys feel when you guys found out that they added more teams, and B, that there was this new system? Because there isn't right now a set of rules of how that's going to work. but what are your reactions to it? Like, is it more or less like there's a lot more stress added on than there was last season?
I think my first initial reaction was that it's definitely a step in the right direction, because just kind of having that pressure of the teams in a lower division can take your spot if you're already in a higher division, that just kind of adds more competition, and competition is always what helps things grow. So I feel like it's a good way to help the league and just soccer in general in the United States to grow.
From a managerial standpoint, when they initially invited us to play in the Premier Division, they had talked to us about how in order to play in the Premier Division, you have to meet certain standards and certain expectations. And they believe that we met those standards based on our organization outside of the field. But with promotion and relegation, we understand that what we do on the field is just as important. And I say that because last season we finished in last place in the division. So regardless of everything that we did well off the field, if we don't improve on the field as well and we finish in that same situation, we're going to be relegated to the lower division. So it shows that there's more pressure. It doesn't matter all the praise that we can get for our organization. We still have to get the results. So I think it's something that is good to help keep that pressure, like Benjamin was saying, keep that pressure on the players, keep that pressure on the managers to compete. And I think also to build off of what Benjamin was saying, we saw at the end of last season, there were some teams that they were out of the playoff picture mathematically, and they started just like, they started showing up to games with 9 players, 10 players, because their season was basically over. But with the addition of relegation, it creates competition, not just to get into the playoffs to try to be the champion, but also it puts pressure on the teams at the bottom to fight for that safety from relegation. I don't know if Augusto or Sammy, you guys want to make any comments from a player standpoint about promotion relegation?
I basically just summarized it earlier. I mean, like you guys are saying, it keeps the pressure on us to keep performing and trying to improve. If not, you're going to drop down division. I mean, who wants that?
Yeah. So given that tomorrow you guys, I believe that based on like the statistics, you guys are expected to win tomorrow's game, but how do you see your schedule, and how do you think your schedule is going to pan out for the rest of the season? Obviously, we're not here to jinx anything or anything like that, because you go into each game thinking that it is a final. But how do you guys see the way that your rest of the schedule for the rest of the season pans out?
I think we're looking pretty solid. I mean, like Augusto said earlier, this first few games definitely help, kink out, our weaknesses. As long as Chris and the team is willing to work towards fixing those, I feel like we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think like we were saying, every game's a final, and every game there's 3 points at stake, and we got to fight for 90 minutes to get those points everywhere we can take them. Like you said, tomorrow on paper it's supposed to go our way, but if we go in with the mentality that we've already won the game, then that's going to be an issue, because it doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter if we're playing the top team in the nation, if we're playing the lowest team in the division, or whoever we're going against. We got to earn those 3 points. We got to fight for them. We got to put everything on the field, leave that game with making sure that we've got what we need to move forward. And I think that with the schedule going forward, I mean, we've already played the champions of the division from last season. We've already played the champions from the previous season before last season, and we've still got some really strong opponents coming up, and every game is going to be a battle. But I think it was good that we had those games early so that we can learn from them and really put our best foot forward going forward.
Right, of course. And there is much to look forward to. You guys have been progressively getting better week to week, even though sometimes the results don't show like at the end of each game, but it's just a matter of wanting it and wanting it better than everybody else. Not only that, but the actual determination that's shown on the field. But anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. This is a topic of conversation that I thought was very interesting for this week. And I'd like to thank everybody for their time. It it was very insightful, all of the information that we got from today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you for
you.
having us. For sure.
Of
Thank you.
course.